So today we get to chat with Esther Kim. She is a fashion icon, a travel blogger, and she's the co-founder of the clothing brand Into the Night, which has been featured in Marie Claire, Vanity Fair, Nylon, and Who What Wear, just to name a few. Please welcome Esther Kim.
Hi.
Hi, Esther.
How are you?
Good. So this is Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Hi,
nice
Esther.
To meet you.
So nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, you're absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. You guys are too.
Okay, so Esther, I have to tell people a little bit about how we met, because we met at one of the most fun weddings. I mean, honestly, we talked about this on the podcast. It was the tornado wedding. The reception ended up, there was a tornado. It ended up a house party, and it ended up being so fun and weird.
Was wild. Literally, I was not in Oklahoma City for even 24 hours. And it's like, comes to Oklahoma City once and tornado.
Yeah.
Green skies, the whole, Wizard of Oz status. I was like, this isn't real. I think we talked about this. We thought it was a clever way for the DJ to get people on the dance floor.
Right. It was like, there was like sirens, and they were like making announcements, and you and I were like dancing outside. We're like, oh, maybe we should all come in. And then little did
they were
we
like,
know.
you got to get out of here. I'm like, okay, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get us to dance.
I'd never been to Oklahoma either. So, but I have to say, when I first saw you, I immediately noticed your blazer. And I was like, what is this cool blazer with a really cool silhouette and a feather sleeve? And you were like, oh, that's my own line. And I right then was like, I want to know more. But then I have to say, really, the thing that pushed me over the edge to really knowing that you were a person that I could get behind was we're at the Oklahoma party. You come out of the bathroom with like a pair of scissors and no longer a long dress. It became a mini dress.
Wow. For a couple of steps that led to that decision. The first one being it was soaking wet on the bottom because tornado and rain. And, I thought I would be in sunny OKC and be fine with a little train, but it wasn't. So I was like, okay, it's wet. And then someone's heel went through it at a point. So I was like, and there's a hole in it. And I was like, is this fixable? It's fine. Let's just cut it so I can really get down. Because there were some younger girls there and they were busting a move and like pulling out the early 2000s music. And this dress was constricting. And I was ready to bust a move with them. Just show them that I can hang. So
this is the kind of energy we want to bring into everyone's lives. Like, you know what? If it's constricting, cut it off.
Cut it off. It's just a dress. It's okay.
It's just a dress, especially if you're in Oklahoma, there is a tornado and it is 2 a.m. It's just all of those things. What else do you have to do besides cut it off?
It just felt right. When it's time to cut the dress short.
When Alex told me that story, I was like, who is this person? I'm obsessed with her.
Okay, so something super interesting about you that I learned when I was doing this prep is that your family actually brought you here when you were a baby from the Soviet Union.
Yes, we immigrated from Kazakhstan. I came here when I was very young, but I kind of grew up in a mini Soviet Union community because we came with my entire family. So Russian's my first language, and the culture of the ex-Soviet Union is still super relevant because all of our food, a lot of Kazaki/Russian/Korean food, because that's the culture over in that country. A lot of vodka, a lot of just high energy, intense people, which I think I definitely took a lot of that from and created a brand to kind of emulate that lifestyle.
How do you think growing up with immigrant parents affected both your identity and also your drive, your work ethic?
I definitely think it affected the work ethic because it was just it was so ingrained in me and also my brothers. If you want something, you just will go do it. It's up to you. No one's going to do it for you. Just keep your head down. Don't worry about anything. Just get your work done and do what you need to do. Also, Russians or ex-Soviets, whatever, they're all very superstitious. And it's kind of if you just, I don't want to say manifest, but it's a lot of just say you're going to do it and then you're going to do it and just put it out there and make it happen. And it's laced with your hard work, but also luck. I mean, listen, luck is relevant in anybody's life, I think, like luck and being at the right time, at the right place. So I think that's something that's like very much of an immigrant mentality. Even like the timing of getting out and like making the choice to leave Soviet Union when they did, like that was right time and luck.
I love how you're talking about luck and manifesting, and it sounds like you're just kind of like open to saying yes, and the experiences that are going to present themselves when you're saying yes to the opportunities.
Absolutely. Like, you know, my mom has never been like, literally, if the weirdest opportunity, I mean, of course, there are boundaries and lines all of us should draw, and they should be very, like, we're not talking about anything weird like that, but anything it's like, that's not in my wheelhouse. It can be in your wheelhouse, and you don't even know what the future could hold for you. And like, it's so crazy how saying yes to all these opportunities in my life, even though like I had no idea what it would lead to and what the direct end goal of it would be, ended up being mostly wonderful things. So it's like, it's cool.
Yes, Alex and I talk about this all the time on the podcast of just we set out with no intention of starting this podcast, and it was just saying yes to multiple things that led to this thing, and now we're getting to chat with amazing women like yourself, and it's just like, yes, we're just open to the opportunities that come along.
Yeah, never box yourself in, because like you don't know what your box or multiple boxes actually even like look like.
Exactly. So Esther, you went to school at Syracuse University.
Yes.
And soon after you graduated, you started working in the fashion industry, and you also started a super successful travel blog. Can you tell us a little bit what gave you the idea for that travel blog, how you got started in it?
So I can't really just like sit still. It's not really my MO. Like I constantly have to be doing things. And I was traveling for my husband at that time. He was my boyfriend's job for a lot of time. And I was just like, how do I do something with this amazing opportunity that could maybe benefit others and maybe turn this into a career of some sort? I mean, I wasn't really sure where it would lead, but I know that there's a few things I'm good at, and it's like traveling and finding things that are off the beaten path and kind of being in unfamiliar cultures that maybe aren't in my comfort zone, and like really making the most out of it. Decided to put it on, pen to paper and take some really nice photos and see what happens. I was like, why not? Let's just see if anybody is interested in reading where I'm eating and do what I'm doing. And I had some really great feedback, and I still will send it's a couple years old now, many years old now, actually, because 2 years off of traveling, but I still send articles and they're relevant. And it's so cool just even for myself to have that as a reference point.
Okay. So you've been everywhere. What are some of your few favorite cities, and like the cities that you love that stick out in your mind, and why do you love them?
Very high on the top of my list. It's not a city, it's a country, but Singapore. But it's very small, and I just love the culture there. I really love East Asia. When I was in Syracuse, I studied abroad in Hong Kong for 6 months. So like that was another thing where I was like, okay, I don't want to go with anyone I know. I didn't want to, a lot of my friends were like doing, the Barcelona, Madrid, like study abroad. And I was like, okay, bye guys, I'm out. I'm going to Hong Kong. I heard it's like New York of East Asia. Here I go. So I have I already have a built-in like affinity for the culture over there. And then I went for a part of my honeymoon, and it was just like incredible. The hawker stands, the nightlife, how clean it is. It's a really wonderful country. The people are so nice. And it's such a mix of a lot of different Asian cultures. And that was really cool to just went to be a part of and see. I love Italy. I love everything in Italy. I was actually born in Italy through immigration. So that also holds a near and dear spot in my heart. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, what? Wait, tell us more about tell us more details.
So a lot of refugees from Soviet Union, before like their paperwork went through in the United States, they would go to a country in Europe. So like, I know a lot of people were in Vienna. We went to Italy. There were several countries that were like holding refugees from Soviet Union until they were ready to make the move and set up in the US. So we were just one of those families, and my mom happened to be pregnant. So I was born there. I mean, when I was young and like didn't understand, I was like, yeah, like She went into labor on a plane. They had to touch down in Italy. Like totally wrong, like not the right information, but definitely what like a child would think.
Yeah, emergency landing.
Yeah. I was like, you said you were on the way from Soviet Union to the US. Oh, so it was an emergency landing. Got it. Like that's how I translated it.
Like, yes, it was very dramatic. What's like the weirdest thing you've tried or eaten in a foreign country?
I would say it's not even that weird, but it was really weird at the time. I went and visited Kazakhstan, where my family's from, and we had camel's milk. Oh no, I'm sorry, horse milk.
Oh.
Yes, that's like something that is a very common beverage.
I didn't even know horse. I guess that makes sense though.
Yeah, camel milk and horse milk, I believe, and it's like a little fermented. So it's like if you drink a lot of it, you could get buzzed or whatever. It's like sour. It's weird. That was a weird one.
Oh my God.
But it's a beverage. It's not like, oh, I'm putting a little bit of this in my coffee.
It's like a glass.
What?
Like a full-on glass of milk.
Yeah.
Wow. I had never even heard of that.
I had no idea. This is brand new information.
Yeah. That part of the world has some really interesting cuisine. I mean, some of it is incredible, like the best, my favorite cuisine in the entire world. But there's also some uncharted territory for sure.
Wow. And you're all like, you love to cook too, I'm sure.
I do. I love to cook. I love to cook with my family. I'm very lucky that they're all like nearby, and I feel like they have so many secrets that like you're not going to get on the internet. Like it's it's like trade secrets.
And is that mostly what you like to cook, like family favorites and that kind
I definitely do like to cook family favorites. Like I feel like my husband and I split, like I do certain things and he does certain things, and like we split up that territory in the kitchen. But we're both in the kitchen, so that's nice. We both like love to do that.
Okay, you had some New York City days that you have described as the work hard, play hard days of your life. Some partying, some living it up, some like living your life. So I want to know, like, what were you up to in those days? Where were you going?
Oh man, I loved those days. I really, really love those days. They're not over. They're not over.
No.
Far
from over. Not over.
It was just like so fun because first off, Syracuse University definitely instilled that kind of mindset in me. There was a ton of people that went there that ended up in New York City that also had like a very strict work hard, play hard mentality. When we all moved to New York, it was just like college all over again. And it was like, this is just college with like nightclubs and bars. Oh my God. This is amazing. And I literally would have the hardest time, not even the hardest time. I just would never say no. And the more you accept invites, the more you're invited to places and dinners and nights out. And so like, we're talking like 4 nights a week minimum of having a good time and meeting people and seeing new places in the city. So, I mean, I was in a lot of deep basements, like dark clubs. It was just a blast. I mean, I remember Electric Room, that still exists. Riff Raff does not exist anymore, but you would get your face painted. Tao, I mean, that still exists.
Tao totally still exists.
Tao downtown.
Westway, which was like a big one when I just moved to New York. The venue used to be a strip club. It had all the stages and the poles, but it was a nightclub now. But everyone was welcome to do their thing on the stages and the poles.
What's the place that you love, Alex? I think you went there for your bachelorette party. House of Yes?
Oh, House of Yes. House of Yes is brand new. Have you been there?
I went once for my birthday party. Yeah, after Tatiana's, I went to the Russian restaurant Tatiana's and did like a traditional thing. And then we went to House of Yes. But Tatiana's burned down.
Burned down?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I heard there was a fire.
No. You also are the co-founder of this really awesome clothing line called Into the Night, which now I'm like, after hearing these stories, I'm like, yes, Into the Night. That kind of checks out. What is your brand's aesthetic, the mission behind it, and tell us a little bit how you started it.
Got to tie all these combos together. So how I started it is that I was actually doing some food blogging, and I met this woman who has an amazing experience in the fashion industry through custom uniform design for like really high-end restaurants and hotels. And she was like, she graduated from FIT. She's got years of experience under her belt producing in Manhattan, and she's just really familiar with the garment district, and we just like hit it off. And she wanted to know if I, had ever thought about going back into fashion. I told her about my experience at Macy's, and she was like, yeah, I've always like would love to to sort of put my mindset, my philosophy of life into like a simple, into garments, and at least try to do some positive influence through that, and through like body image positivity and image positivity. And she connected me with my partner, who has been designing custom uniforms for like 15 years. And we built Into the Night together. So she was like, I am a master at creation. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Like she trust me, like if you get any of our blazers, I mean, they're perfect. They're perfect.
Beautiful.
Or any of our clothes are perfect. That's something that we're really proud of. And she was like, do you have an idea? And this is actually kind of crazy because I knew what I wanted I knew the kind of clothing that I would want to wear and that I would want girls to think of when they're ready to have like an epic day or an epic trip, or what they would want to put into their suitcase or whatever. And I was like, how do I kind of like sum this up into an idea? And me and my girlfriends used to use the phrase like, are we going into, which we would look at each other at after brunch or having a fun day, and it'd be like 4 p.m. It's like decision time. Like, are you going home to like take a nap and like have dinner, or what's going on? And we would look at each other and be like, we're going into the night. Like we're going into. This was just like something we would constantly say. And it would turn into like more aggressive, phrasing of like, are we going into? Like versus like kind of revving each other up. So I was like on vacation and I came to me in a dream, which is so crazy. Like literally I woke up, I was like, I got it. I got the name. It's Into the Night. Yes, because it encapsulates like a mindset that is so ingrained in like, and what I want people to resonate with people, of just being free and like inviting to adventure. I want you to be enthusiastic about the unexpected, and this is all like laced with positivity, and when we're talking about everything, it's like the good unexpected,
And
Totally.
I love how you mentioned vacation, because when you're exploring a new city and you're there for the first time and you might not have, maybe you have 4 days, it's like, maybe you're not going to take the time to rest and go home and change, you might be out all day and all night. And so many of your pieces, that's what they're there for.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially as millennials who grow up with like every magazine cover was like how to take your daytime look into nighttime look. Like we've constantly been trying to find the easiest ways to like go from day to night. And your pieces have like totally done that, because you could wear it to the office and then just like slap on a smoky eye and take your hair down and you're ready to go out. It's so awesome.
Listen, like the day to night transition has been around for a long time. Like we're not reinventing the wheel with like, oh my God, like we're not the first ones to do something like that. However, like I do think that we're one of the first or the few to really drive home this mindset that we want the people who are wearing our garments to have. Like when you're like, I want to have a freaking awesome day today. Like we want you to pull out an Into the Night piece. And when you're like, I want to do and be on the go and have this confidence and positive outlook on whatever day it is and whatever you happen to be doing, we want you to pull out Into the Night piece. And also, aside from just the mindset, like we are producing very high quality products. Like we have beautiful pieces that have amazing fit and made in New York and inspired by the city that we manufacture and design everything in. So we do value the way that designs can impact a person's mood and in turn potentially like life.
So when you two are working and you're coming up with your pieces and you're coming up with your designs, what is that process like for you two? How does that go?
So we basically start with a sort of mood. Really, when we first formed our brand, like that was the most important. There's kind of 2 boards. Like there's a mood board for your brand and then like capsule boards. So you pull images that inspire you, that resonate with how you're feeling, that bring up an emotion, that whatever it is. And because we're not doing like collections, we don't do like the color palettes that some other brands would do because our drops are seasonal and they're quite small. We kind of will pick a few like trends that we really want that resonate with us and then put in certain design details that make it Into the Night. So something, for instance, like we have our Slinky collection with the Nix print, and we make it into the night because we have these like interior design details where there's a string and you can like cinch the waist and make it like a little sexier, or you can leave it looser and more like daytime flowy. So like little things like that. And it's just a very collaborative process. I mean, we're a 2-person team. So the business of everything is like very technical because there's a lot of different ways to be in the retail business. And I'm doing like everything that's not design technical related. And then my partner does everything that's design and production related. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, listen, it's retail. There's hundreds and thousands of brands out there. And there's really like 2 ways to do it. You can either be direct to consumer or you can be wholesale. And, we're kind of at this crossroads where we were like, which one do we want to be? And what we learned was to be wholesale, like these brands that you see in department stores or anything like that, they're producing like 10 to 15 styles 10 times a year. So like they have a lot of capacity to design and produce, and they're turning out a ton of product, which is incredible. But, that's just not where we're at. But that's how you get in front of more customers, right? And then direct to consumer, you have the ability to create your own structure and drop seasonally with less styles, but you have like maybe less of an opportunity to get in front of the customer. So you have to get creative about it. And that's why we have like our pop-up shop in Montana. And we
direct to consumer, for people who don't know, it means you can literally sell it from an Instagram account, right? So like when I'm scrolling, like as I was looking, it's like there's a picture of a blazer and something pops up and I can click on it and I can just,
right.
Okay.
Or it's through a website. And like boutique is technically wholesale, but it's still a little bit, you still can have a more tailored relationship with a boutique versus like department stores or some of these like bigger retailers, even like a Revolver shop up, like they have certain like levels of expectations that like you have to adhere to.
I, for one, am such a fan of the direct to consumer style because I get very overwhelmed with too much decision. And I love when there's sort of just a really condensed version of like the best pieces. I feel like with that kind of model, you're getting the best of the best pieces, and that so much thought and time and effort has gone into each piece.
Absolutely. I mean, we believe in what we're doing and the amount of development that we have. Like, we don't think we need to overdevelop. I mean, the pieces that are available, like the into the night dresses and blazers, I am wearing them. I mean, we're going on our 3rd year now. I'm still wearing these pieces time and time and time again. Like, I actually have to make the decision, like, Esther, don't wear that. It's been too much. You've been seen in this dress too much and you have way too many photos in it. Like, we got to switch it up. We really believe that what we're creating is, we are creating like casual and party looks, but they're not so novel that you can't wear them time and time again with a different kind of styling or whatever. Like, we do believe that the direct to consumer model, when you're developing less, it gives you time to focus on a different kind of garment and a different kind of assortment.
Yeah, I'm so about the less is more. And I feel like that's where things are going now. And most of my favorite brands are direct to consumer. Like, I love the Cara Santana collection. We both love the Cara Santana collection. And I also am loving Favorite Daughter right now. And
oh yeah,
I love when, again, it's just like there's options that are very on brand and fewer options. Yes. Like I actually really enjoy that. So do you have any, well, I mean, I know I definitely need to be shopping. I have my eye on the Bowery blazer and the Beekman shirt dress. Like,
literally, Alex and I are your target audience because we love a blazer and we love a button-down shirt, and then also a dress. Like, you literally, these are our staples.
We got you, girls. We got you.
You really do. Do you have any current favorites? Do you go up and down with like the seasons? What are your current favorites right now in your line?
I would say that the Bowery blazer is just like gotten so much wear. It just makes everything so freaking chic. And I literally get compliments wherever I go, and that's always nice. So you saw me in it. Like, I love that blazer. It's got the perfect fit, and it's become like a staple in my closet, but also so elevated. And then the Beekman shirt dress is so freaking chic. And I am obsessed with all the colors. I've been wearing them on like rotation. They're just so, so good. They all serve their own purpose, sort of. So you do need all three.
So we love having women on here that just do a million things. So you've had your travel blog, you have your business, you are also a mom, you are also a wife, you're doing everything. So you are married to a professional actor, Matt Daddario, and we are in this business. Most of our friends are in this business. And we talk a lot about on this podcast how like the schedule of people in the entertainment business is like not so glam. So like whether you're a makeup artist or a singer or whatever, you're usually like working while people are playing and sometimes like missing life events. So I'm interested in, for you as a partner of someone with a very non-traditional schedule, do you enjoy the change of pace? Are there challenges sometimes? Is it both?
Well, I can definitely say, like, I feel like pre-mom loved it, lived for it, was like, what's on the agenda next week? Because we don't know. Like, I loved that spontaneity. And I mean, honestly, it really formed my mindset because there did have to be certain adjustments of being like, Mom, I can't plan Christmas vacation right now. I mean, honestly, the industry shuts down for the holidays, so I know you can, but like certain things that were honestly like 2 months out, like I was like, we can't commit to things. We don't know. And so it was more so like, it kind of came naturally for me, but relaying that mindset to people who had certain expectations from us was one of the harder challenges. But we're on the same page now, except for our daughter, who is like, I would like my routine at all times. Thank you. I still crave it though. I love the spontaneity. I'm not a creature of habit. Like I crave that there is going to be a fun little curveball and we're just going to figure it out. Like we just always figure it out. And it's just about leveling expectations. And like, I've always leveled expectations. Like whenever there's a yes to a commitment of an event or a dinner, I'm like, I always preface it with, okay, we're saying yes, but you know what the deal is.
Yeah, I think you said this perfectly. And I feel the exact same way. So I'm an actor, my husband's a creative director. And actually Tina and I were just talking about this a little bit today because Tina's planning a birthday trip in November. And I'm like, my husband and I were like, we want to go so bad. But I was like, there's a chance we don't know. Sometimes we won't know our schedule until the week before. So I'm like, I have it on my list. I'm like, I'm going to look at what the cancellation policy is. I'm going to it's exactly. And I think you said it so beautifully about just managing those expectations in a way that like, it's really easy when people are in the same business. Like we had a bunch of friends who booked a job right before our wedding and couldn't go to our wedding. And we were like, yeah, that's how it goes. But managing the expectations about this business with people who aren't in it, I think is kind of like the crux. You said that very, very well.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But I also, I think that I'm in this like new chapter where no one really has expectations once you become a mom. Like everyone is very much like, I'm gonna do me and I know you're gonna do you. Like, so I'm more so on the edge of my seat of what's going to happen next. Like I'm always excited because I think any change is a good thing. And there are certain sacrifices that I know we'll have to make. Like if the change isn't workable for the entire family, then, we'll have to spend some time apart or we'll have to relocate. But if it's all good things, then, we can make it work.
Is there anything in your life that you do that you reserve for yourself to create that space and to be able to stay spontaneous while being a working mom, while having your hands in all of these different things? Is there anything that you're like, okay, this is my non-negotiable, I will always have this?
Well, I don't know if it's non-negotiable, I will always have this, because I'm not sure that those things necessarily exist for me, but my husband and I really believe that like we need to take time to each of us, like go do your thing for 2 days, whatever that is. Like, I mean, I don't need to take a test to tell me this. Like I'm 100% an extrovert and that's how I recharge versus someone else may, get a little bit of recharge from being out, but the other half like needs to be at home with a book or or a show or whatever. Like, so my recharge is I'm going to go to New York or Miami where I have friends and I'm going to go have a blast with them. And like that, and we do the same thing for my husband. Like those two things make us, and of course we would love to take trips on our own, but it's a little harder with the kid, you know, and we've carved that out because when we come back, it's just so much better for our relationship, for your personal relationship with yourself and for your relationship with your child. So like I fully support of like, go get away from being like Esther mom and go remember who Esther like degenerate is, because I think it's really important like not to forget that part of you, because I think society puts so much pressure on like once you hit an age or like you become a mom, like you got to be a certain way. And, you know, people live up to that expectation, even though like they don't want to, which I think is like so interesting, because that is a big element in like Into the Night. And what I hope to advocate is like, don't forget who you really, really are. And it's okay if like you're going to go be ratchet for 2 days and like have a wild, fun time and like feel hungover the next day and have the laughs with your friends and like go get some blisters on your feet. Like that does not make you a bad mom. Like you're going to come back and your daughter or your son or your daughters and sons are going to love and miss you the same exact amount. And your husband's going to totally, or your husband or your wife or whatever, are totally going to feel that like recharge that you have. And I really think it just benefits all parties involved.
Thank you so much for saying that. So yeah, we are slow
clapping.
Because you're right. We have this old programming that I think our generation is undoing of like, when you're a mom, you have to be a certain way. You can't do a certain thing. Like, yeah, you have to be responsible, but it's like, you don't have to lose the spontaneous, fun, late night New York City side of yourself. It can't be every night, but it doesn't have to go away forever.
Exactly. And the truth is like, it cannot be if you're momming, like it really can't be. And that's why, like, when you said, do you carve anything out? Like I carve it out because like, you can't, I mean, for me, at least, like I can't do both. Like I can't go and like have a night and then wake up and be like the kind of mom that I want to be. Like, so no. I really do. I'm very intentional with that. And I'm like, okay, like I'm going to go do this. It's going to be awesome. And then I'm going to come back. But like, it's the same thing with work too. Like you cannot mom and work. You're going to get 50% of like both efforts. So that is obviously not spontaneous when you carve things out, but like if you carve it out, then you can make spontaneous elements
within that container.
Yes.
And something else that you said to me at this reception, you were like, here's what you need. So you're talking about having kids. You're like, here's what you need: someone to take your baby for a night and a morning. Like your mom, it's your husband, it's your best friend, it's something. So you can go have your night, have a drink, do whatever, sleep a little late, and then come back to it. Like once in a while sprinkled in. And I just thought that was such a good, actionable thing for any future mom, any current mom to hear. Just take a night and a morning for yourself once in a while.
Yes, you will have anxiety. You will have anxiety once it hits like 11 p.m. if you do not have a sitter for the morning, because your night can be very spontaneous in a way that you do not want it to be. Like 3 a.m. wake ups, 6 a.m. wake ups, whatever. Like, so you just need that taken care of so you can do you. Because like I've had that before and I'm just all I'm thinking about is like, oh my God, how am I going to operate? How many hours do I have? Like you can't be present in the moment that you're in and like really connect with the people that you're with, which is why you're there in the first place. So, and I think that's chapter 2 of life, because if you are listening to this podcast and you are between the ages of 20 and 30 and you don't have a child, you better be out and living your best life and saying yes to every single opportunity, because you will benefit from it. Because chapter 2 is a little different.
Esther, what are your hopes and dreams for Into the Night?
For the future?
Man, I want more people to be introduced to Into the Night. I want more people to have access to it. It's so nice that we have this pop-up right now, because it makes a really big difference for people to be able to feel the quality, try it on in the baby little dressing room that we have. And I hope that people understand the message and like the mindset that we want people to have when they're wearing it. And everyone's just trying to do their best and help others from a very basic, like just from clothing, like from a garment. It's like a step one. It's what you do when you get dressed in the morning. And if it can make you feel like great before you step out and do whatever it is to do, they always say, like, you fall in love when you least expect it. Like, you meet your business partner when you least expect it. You never know what'll happen. So if you're just feeling great when you take that first step out of the door, then that's already a good step in the right direction.
So before we let you go, we have these fun rapid fire questions. So just say it, but like really no pressure.
So warm.
Oh my God, no. Okay.
Just suddenly flushing.
Well, also,
no, I've been flushing. This room is so hot.
I know we talk about that all the time. I know.
Because we have to turn off our AC units when we record for sound. And so, no, we're all flushing.
Yes.
I don't have a blush problem. If someone is watching this, like, it looks like I blushed myself.
It actually just looks like you're
gorgeous.
wearing like gorgeous cream blush.
It's natural.
Okay. So what do you think is the best advice you've ever gotten?
Say yes to new opportunities. I didn't come up with that on my own.
Who are 3 designers that are in your closet right now?
Into the Night.
Yes.
Of course.
Yigal Azrul, Israeli designer, and Fendi. I just got a pair of Fendi shoes.
Cool.
Yes.
What is the current nighttime moisturizer that you're using right now?
I use Dr.
good.
Jart's. It comes in looks like toothpaste.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's great.
Who's a woman either on social media or in your life or just someone around that is inspiring you right now?
My mom. My perception and like my understanding of my mom totally changed when I become a mom. It just happens. But yeah, she's great. She's a real big support system for me.
Okay, so where can we find you? Where can we follow you? And where can we follow and shop Into the Night?
You can find me at Eskimove, so ESKIMOVES. And you can find Into the Night at shop_Into the Night.
Esther, thank you so much for sharing so much about your life and being so honest and so much about your amazing brand. We had so much fun chatting with you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This was really cool. My first podcast, and I hope not my last. And thank you so much. You guys are awesome.